Hello everyone and welcome again to this new reading. I was contemplating on doing Namjoon RM and Taeyang's relationship, friendship, bond reading, but then I read also the comments asking for also his relationship with Jungkook, and I was thinking that since they are the youngest and also Jimin, I was thinking of doing a reading for Namjoon and for the Maknae line, for the three of them, so we can have like the general view because they have in common that they are the younger one. So I believe that because he's the Hyun, he's older, and besides he's also the leader. I believe he may have like a very like in very in common opinion about them. It's like a univision about them. It's like because they are always around each other and they very well like copy what the other does, just like small children. So I wanted to do this reading, so because I wanted to develop in depth the ones that we consider a bit more mysterious, in the sense that they are the both people involved in this connection may be different. For example, Yoongi and Taeyang, which is going to be the next reading I'll be doing. And it's like fascinating to go deeper into those kinds of bonds because we can learn from the different perspectives of them, and besides from the different energies and the different dynamics they bring to the relationship, to the interaction. So I think it's a bit more pleasant and it's a bit more maybe educational, so we can apply it for ourselves to be able to learn from people that we have differences with, in the sense that we have different opinions or maybe different backgrounds, different upbringings, different costumes. So in this sense, I always feel that Namjoon and especially with Tae, I don't think I need to do a reading to see that he definitely is very fond of Tae, in the sense that he accepts him the way he is, just because you can see the faces he makes. It's just that um, um, he's a really serious person sometimes, Namjoon. But when it comes to Tae, he's really like, I sense him that he's really like flexible, in the sense it's like he allows him to get away with a lot, and just the same as Jin when Jungkook, the same. It's like they find the Magna line or the youngest ones really adorable. So sometimes they are a bit flexible and a bit understanding, also really strict also. But at the end of the day, they love the youngest of the group, and the same with Jimin also. So I'm going to start the reading by I pulled additional cards because since the Magna line it's formed of three members, I had to pull other cards. But for example, in RM's point of view, in RM's side, I pulled the usual free cards like they're in line. And it came the Two of Wands, the Ten of Swords, and the Knight of Swords. So I think RM has his mind on a lot of projects to develop in the future. It's like he's the kind of person that it's always like aiming for the future. It's like he's always thinking about the future. I think I thought about this when I mentioned his moon in Sagittarius. That is this need of exploration, this need of seeing what's in the horizon, and thinking about the possibilities and thinking about creating things for a better future. I think his mind is not completely invested in the bond right now, in the relationship with the boys. It's not that he doesn't pay attention to them, it's just that he interacts what's necessary of them, and then he goes and he starts working on his own projects, on or ideas that had been asked of him. It's like he writes a lot, because I see a lot of swords again. So you know that swords represent the intellect, the thoughts process, thinking, analyzing. So he is in that mode, and obviously he is a bit exhausted. He's a bit tired. He has been mentally tired actually for a while, because when you see the Ten of Swords, even though it's a very like, you see all that person laying there with all those 10 swords stuck on his back. But actually, the state of the Ten of Swords is when you, because 10 it's the last number of the minor arcana, because then the core cards come up. So it's like the final stage. Is like the final step of this process of this state of tiredness he has been in. It's just that it reflects that all those this tiredness, all this exhaustion that he has, it's like it's coming to an end, because it has reached like the final peak, the final point. So it's like he's moving on, and eventually he will get out of that state, and he will go straight to the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords also talks about actions, and especially actions when it comes to the intellectual. So he's definitely what he has been working on is something that he also has to deliver to the members. So I think that maybe it's something obviously related. It's a project related to them also, because I see him like gaining strength and gaining force, and going towards them and communicating what his ideas are and what the next actions to take are going to be. So I see him in the next 6 months being really like directive with them, like telling them what to do, or maybe like managing them, like telling them, okay, I have these ideas and we are going to go through one by one, and you're going to say this, and then you are going to say this. And he's going to be really like fast, in that sense that he's going to deliver the ideas really fast. Actually, RM ways of processing thoughts and the way of communicating also, it's very fast. It's very like almost like angels in angel's side, because it's like his mind works non-stop. So he definitely has like a very fast mental processing of ideas. He's always thinking a lot. So when the words come out of his mouth, sometimes it seems like he is really hyper, like or that he is like really like almost too excited, like and sometimes it's like it's not easy to comprehend what he really wants to say, especially when he is excited about something. But the voice will try to adapt to his message, because it's obviously new ideas and it's important information, so they have to sit down and take it seriously. So it's not from his side. It's not about emotions for the moment. It's about getting together and talking about putting these ideas into action and coming up with a plan. So it's more like a formal relationship for the moment, and his interaction with them, just because he's really tired and he doesn't want to get involved too much because he has other things in his mind. So when he is in this mode, he actually, it's hard for him to get out of this intellectual side of him. It's like he is like this, and he sometimes uses it to evade himself or to avoid certain things, because he's like always busy. He's like this kind of person that you know that you cannot interrupt, because you sense that he is really like stressed about something, because he's like, it seems like he's always like working, even though maybe he's sitting there and you know that he's not doing anything, but he sounds, and his body language seems um so tense that you know that he is thinking about something. He's always working in his mind. He is like this. It's hard for him to relax. It's hard for him um, to be relaxed. His mind is really fast, and he has this responsibility to always use this mind and this intelligence of him to keep creating and keep like always moving towards a bigger and more ambitious project for him and for them, of course. Him and Jungi are the ones that maybe are the more like intellectual, in that sense that they seem like they are always nervous about something, because they are thinking and they are planning ahead always. So for the Maknae line, the cards that came out were the Nine of Wands, the Four of Swords, the Chariot, the Eight of Cups, the Moon, and the Four of Pentacles. So in this sense, I see them that they definitely feel, because the Nine of Wands is also a card that came out for Jungi when I did the last reading. So there's obviously this sense of defensiveness, in the sense that they wish they could connect with him in a very more like relaxed way, and not to always talk about business or talk about, it's like they want to sometimes they do not want to talk about work or talk about achievements or talk about maybe more serious matters. It's like they are very joyous in the sense, because they are younger, and obviously their mind is not as connected with the intellectual side, because they are men that are really connected with actions, with expressions. So they would wish that Namjoon would rest a bit more, that he would take a time off to rest, and that he would be able to trust them a little bit, that everything is going to be okay, that he doesn't need to put himself under so much pressure, because he needs to trust them, in the sense that he needs to believe in them. He needs to believe that they can do it all right, that it's not necessary to always being reminded of things as if they were small children, because actually it's the view that he has of them. He feels this huge weight on his shoulder about guys, we have to do this, we have to do this, and sometimes he forgets to. He doesn't forget to breathe because breathing is like a very high necessity for us to function. But if it would save him energy, he would. But it's like they wish they would see him like smile a little bit more and enjoy more. It's like they see him always like spending time with them and maybe laughing a bit, but then eventually he goes away and he goes back to his place, he goes back to his things, and they feel a bit sorry for him in the sense because it's like they wished they could, at least for a day, that they could like take over and so he would have time to rest. But they truly admire him and they also like see him for his virtues and his intelligence, obviously. And but they wish they could do something to help, and sometimes the only idea that comes out for them is to annoy him or maybe to go to be near him and to always like trying to get his attention and always trying to maybe joke around so he can make him laugh a bit. I think they have this strong need to make him laugh because they find that really important. But I think that it's because for Namjoon it's like he's going through this phase where he's a young kid also at heart, but at the same time he's becoming more serious, more grounded. Um, and he also is not very expressive about how he feels. He is the kind of person that battles everything inside. It's like he tries to maintain this because of his Sagittarius moon. He tries to maintain this sense of optimism and this sense of everything is going to be all right. Everything is great. We are moving on. We are going to greater place. We are getting better. We are moving on. It's like he's always aiming for a better future, and sometimes he forgets that he needs to invest in being present in the present, to be present, because, and I think this is what they require of him emotionally, because it's like when you have children, it's the same. Children actually demand a lot of attention, and actually they don't. I mean, they more than them getting expensive toys, they will want someone to play with. So actually, for them, it's not that they view him as their father, but they would want for him to be able to laugh a little bit more, because I don't know, there's this sense that I know we all have seen videos, we all have seen interactions, and we obviously know that RM is really like goofy and funny and quirky, and sometimes he's really childlike in some sense, but you have to think that they interact with each other with the cameras off, so we don't know what happens when the show ends, so we cannot fully understand their interactions and why the boys feel this way about him. It's like there are things we don't know and we don't see, but this is a concern that they have about him. They wished he would let go a bit of this of stressing so much, and to be able to connect a bit more emotionally. So in the sense of the relationship, the cards that came out were the Page of Swords, the Queen of Wands, and the Knight of Cups. So There's a lot of source here, and obviously the source, as I said, talked about the thoughts, the thinking, the words, and they definitely are going to get a bit more communicative with him. Are going to go to him and talk to him about how much they admire him and how much they love him. Um, I think this trio it's really good at they're like an anoint oil of reassurance of loving acceptance. It's like they know how to get to him in an emotional level, but it's not easy to get to him. It's like they have to start with words. They have to move around him slowly with their bodies, because as we know, Namjoon is not very affectionate physically because he's a Virgo, of course. He is a bit awkward when it comes to PDA and all the stuff. He has improved a lot, but he is not like very touchy in a physical way. And this doesn't mean that he doesn't want to. It's just that he is a bit awkward in that sense. Maybe he might want to hug you, and it seems like he does it so aggressively that he will punch you instead, because he's like he doesn't know how to control his body. And I think this is sometimes why they call him God of Destruction, because it's not that he is clumsy, that's why he breaks things. It's just that the proportions of his body are very long, so sometimes he doesn't know how to manage his own body, his arms, his legs. It's a tough work. I believe that maybe people that are tall maybe could understand a bit about this, and it's a whole process to learn to be aware of your body dimensions and to be able to control them. I mean, it's not easy. It's like because in your mind you are thinking, oh, okay, I can go through this door, or I can go through this furniture without knocking things down. But actually, maybe your body is like longer or bigger, so maybe you won't fit. And this is what happens. Maybe he knocks things down or everything, but it's because his body proportions are longer and are so it's a bit awkward for him. So maybe sometimes for expressing, like maybe giving a hug or touching someone, he may be like a bit like awkward, that you don't know if he wants to caress you or if he wants to slap you because he's like awkward in that sense. That's why he doesn't even try to make like a small touch, not even a gentle touch, because he's not confident enough to initiate those things, because he knows it will go wrong. Because if he breaks things, he's afraid that he might break someone or hurt someone. So it's like he prefers that others come to him and initiate the. But it's also because he's always really nervous. He's really nervous person. He's really like on a very anxious state, even though it doesn't show that much. He's always constantly like on alert, because he doesn't want to mess up things. And actually, this excessive way of maybe analyzing everything and analyzing every move is what makes him make these little mistakes, or maybe these these awkward moments of him breaking something, or maybe doing a move that maybe for someone that it's lighter, for example, like the Maknae line body figure, body build. They are very tall and slim, and Jimin is really light, and he's really like gracious in the way he moves. He's almost like a fairy. But for Namjoon it's not easy. It's not, and neither for Jin. For Jin also, because he has white shoulders, so that's why when they dance, it's like you can see that they are making the same move as the others, but it it looks awkward, in the sense that it doesn't look the same. But it's because they need to work on their body's flexibility. They need to work on to be more in sync with all the parts of their bodies. And actually, the part of the arms and the hands is the more difficult one. So in this sense of the relationship, they will connect again in an emotional level. They always do, because the Knight of Cups always ends the reading, and the Knight of Cups is an invitation. I always say is a knight with the cup, offering love, offering a new beginning, offering an openness to emotions. So I think they definitely have to like go and talk to him, and like make him stop a bit, so he can realize what he does, because he doesn't realize he does what he does, or he doesn't realize that he has these kinds of manners or these kinds of gestures. He doesn't realize he looks worried in the eyes of them. He looks worried all the time, and they feel anxious for him too, because they're like, you should relax a bit more. You should relax, because we trust you. We trust you, and we want to give our best. So don't worry. It's like, don't worry. And he's actually someone that is really hard to get to, because he's not like someone that he's not easily going to openly admit that he's worried, that he's concerned, that sometimes he loses faith, that sometimes he feels tired, that sometimes he feels like he doesn't want to do anything, that sometimes the responsibilities overwhelm him. Those are things that it's not easy for him, because he has like this inner thinking about everything is going to work out, everything is going to be okay. Yes, I'm a bit busy, yes, I'm a bit worried, but don't worry, I'm okay. It's like this I'm okay. And sometimes his face says otherwise, his gesture says otherwise, and they see it. The Maknae sees it. So sometimes they worry, and that's why they go to him and they try to make him like maybe do some activities, or maybe start dancing, start moving, because for him it's actually a really a good activity whenever he starts to get rigid in his body because of how much he's thinking or planning about something. The best way is to get him out of that room, of that studio, of that conference room, to get him out and take him outdoors. Go for a walk outdoors. Go to a place where there's fresh air, where there are plants, where there are like green, where he can connect and reconnect with himself, and breathe, because sometimes he gets so tense that he forgets, and his whole body aches. I feel it in me. It's like I feel it on myself, the contracture of the back. It's amazing. It's unbelievable. But I understand where it comes from. It comes from a place of responsibility. It comes from a place where sometimes leaders are not meant to express emotions, and sometimes they are not meant to express struggles or personal struggles, until one day they eventually have like a breakdown, and then eventually everyone starts worried, and it's like they don't want him to get to that. They want to prevent him from going to this burnout mode, and they want to make sure he doesn't go to the extreme of um, overworking, and this extreme of being too hard on himself, because he's a perfectionist, because he's a Virgo. So Virgo energy always tends to always thinking about how to make things more perfect or better, or always work on details, and sometimes they get too caught up in that never-ending desire of making things better, that they actually detach from the whole process of creating something, of spontaneity, of being spontaneous, of what's the soul, what's the heart of this. Why are we doing this for? Why? Where is our heart in this process, in this creative process? So guys, I'm going to leave it here because it's already 30 minutes. And the next reading I'll be doing is Taeyong's and Yoongi's, because I know that you have been asking for it. So I'll probably upload it. If not today, I will upload it during the weekend. So thank you so much for being here and for listening to this format of my reading. I hope I made myself clear so you can understand, because I know that sometimes my accent is a bit strong, and sometimes there are some words that I cannot pronounce in a proper way. So thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.